Hello, and welcome to your new Drupal website basic training. In today's segment, I'm going to cover a little bit about the body field and how to use it. The body field shows up in almost every piece of content that you can add to one of your Drupal sites. So for this example, I'm just going to use a basic page. So we're going to skip these items at the top for now, as those will be covered in another video. But what I really want to cover is this body field and some of the buttons in it and what the capabilities are. So we'll just kind of start at the top and go from left to right. So first things first, this button is the source button. So what that is essentially is you can type or add text directly into this window. And it's just regular text that works just fine. But the source, if you click that, what that will do is show you the actual hard code or HTML. So in this case, it doesn't look too much different since it's mostly just text, but you'll notice there are these little tags around the paragraphs. Now, if I was to create, say, a link, let's take this whole bottom section and we will turn that into a link by using this button here, our link button. And we're just going to link that to google.com. Click OK. It turns blue, indicating that it's a link. And now, if we go into the source and we scroll down, you can kind of see that we've got some other little bits of code in here. So if you ever need to see the raw code source HTML, then that will be what this button will get you. This can be really useful, especially if you're embedding YouTube codes or things like that that give you the raw code. Then you'll want to click source, come into the bottom or wherever you want to put it, and just paste the item. Okay, the next thing I want to show you will be these three buttons here. All of these buttons are paste. This one is generic paste, so I don't think you'll ever need to use that. Most people already know how to paste. But the other two are a little more useful. This one is our paste as plain text. And basically, you want to use this if you're pasting from anywhere other than Word. This includes PDFs, other websites, different types of documents, that type of thing. And what this will do is if I want to paste something, I can hit paste as plain text and it'll open up this window. And then I just paste in the items that I want to paste and it will remove any formatting or styling or anything like that on the text that could have come across from the source content and make sure that that doesn't get pulled over. So we hit OK. And now underneath our link, oh, here, this is where we add it. So we've added all that text and it looks just fine. It's going to match the rest of the site. Now the other paste button that we have is paste from Word. And that's exactly what you think it is. It's for pasting specifically from Word. And what that allows you to do is when you copy your text from the document and you paste it in here, it will keep all of your formatting, bullet points, numbered lists, all that kind of thing. But it will allow the site default colors and fonts and styles to be applied to it to make sure that everything is uniform. The next button will be this ABC. It's just a basic spell check. That's, I'm sure, something you're familiar with. This is an undo button, pretty standard. You're going to go back. Find, to help you find words or search. Replace. Select all. So all of those basic generic text editing features. But when we get to this next block, we'll have a couple of unusual ones. Okay. So the next one we'll take a look at will be this one. And this is an image upload button. So you'll have this image here as your hero banner image. But if you want to have other images in about the text and throughout, then you'll want to use this image upload button. So we'll click on that. and that's going to open the image properties window. And right now you can't adjust any of the properties because there is no image to adjust. So that's what we need to do first. And you'll want to click Browse Server, and this will open up the server window. And from here, you can upload your image directly to the server. So we'll hit Upload and then Choose File, which will allow us to select one from our computer. Hit Choose, and then you should see the file name appear. Once it's there, go ahead and click Upload. Then you should see your file in the list. And from here, you can either double click the blue line or click Insert File. And now we've got the URL generated by the server to reference your image. Now we have alt text. This is if you want to put some text in there for people who have accessibility programs. It will read whatever the text is in lieu of the image. The next items down here are to adjust the height and width of the image if it's not already been set. And that's simply going to be in units of pixels, and you can just adjust them based on whatever size you need. Then we have the border, and it's also going to be measured in pixels, as same as everything. And to add that, you just put in the characters. So there's 1 pixel, 10 pixels, and 100 pixel border, and you can kind of see that black outline around the image. So we'll leave that at 1. HSpace and VSpace are if text is bumping up too close to your image, then you can create some padding. HSpace is horizontal, so left and right, and we should see, yep, that adjusts as I make it 10. And then VSpace is vertical, so same thing, but up and down, and now we have a little gap there. Now this last thing, alignment, has not set, left, and right. Not set means the image is just going to be put in the middle, and there will be text above or below it. But these other two, left and right, will put the image in the middle of the text and then allow the text to wrap around the left or right side. Once you've got all of your settings applied, go ahead and click OK, and we should see our image appear with our spacing and our little border. Okay, so the next button on our list will be the flash button. This is not going to be something you'll ever use, so don't need to click on that one. This is a table to insert a table field, and it'll give you rows, columns, height, width, all of that kind of stuff, and then hit OK, and you'll see your table appear. Now, we don't actually recommend using tables as they do not work well with mobile responsive sites, which almost every site these days. So we would highly suggest just not using the tables option. The next button is this one here, and it's insert a horizontal line, and it's just going to give you kind of a light gray line here to break up your sections a little bit. The next button is our emoji or smiley button. So we've got a couple of those you can choose from if you want to use those. This button is insert special character, and it has all of these special characters for you to choose from. And finally, the iframe button. So this can be used to iframe in other sites, like a whole other website onto a basic page, or you can iframe YouTube videos or things of that nature. For the most part, anything you would want to iframe will already have that code on it when you copy it. But if you, for whatever reason, need to create the iframe, you can use that button there. Okay, now this whole section of buttons is all very standard text editing stuff. This is bold, italics, underline, strike through, and this is subscript, superscript, and remove formatting. Then we have numbered list, bulleted list, increase or decrease indent, and block quotes. This button here, create a div container, is really for only advanced HTML users. So if you're not very comfortable with HTML, you probably won't want to use that. These next ones are the justifications and alignment, and we've got some paragraph buttons and also a language set. So all that stuff should be pretty familiar or pretty easy to pick up. And the next button that's going to be kind of unusual will be this button here. And this is our link button. Now, if you've already got text in here, it's pretty easy to turn it into a link just like we did with that. We'll use this text right here. So you just have to highlight the text that you want to be linked and then select this link button. That will bring up the link window. So the link type can be linked to an anchor in the text, email, or URL. For the most part, you'll probably only be using URL. Now there are two ways to add the URL you want to go to in here. If it's on your website, then you only need whatever comes after the .com. So if we wanted to go to the contact page, it would just be, whatever your site is, .com/contact. So then all we need is the /contact. We'll go ahead and hit OK. And now our text turns blue and into a link. So if we take this text and we highlight it, we can turn that one into a link as well. And this time we'll just put in a full URL and have that go to that site. Now if you're going off your website, you may want to select target and choose new window blank, as this will open up your new link in a new window so they don't navigate away from your site entirely. Go ahead and hit OK. And now we'll go down and save after I enter a tag as it's required. Hit save. And now we've got our basic page. So here's the link that should take us just to /contact. Looks like that worked. And this top link should take us to Google in a new tab. Excellent. Looks like that worked as well. And there's our table, there's our image, there's the first link we created, the second, and the third. So that's what everything kind of looks like. Now, if you don't like the way everything's laid out and you need to go back in and make some adjustments, just scroll up here, go underneath the title of your page, and click Edit. This will take us right back here to the body field where we can continue to make adjustments. So we left off at the link button. This last button, or last two buttons here, is anchor. So this is if you want to create an anchor in the text to link to. It's useful for like FAQ pages where you need to, when someone clicks on a link, send them to a specific answer or things like that. This button, insert a teaser break, is just going to insert another break. So very similar to the gray line, just a little smaller. Now the last section of buttons that we have here are all just things that make adjustments to pieces of text. So if we highlight some text here, we can go and we can change that to an H2, which will make it bigger. And then we've got varying versions of the H. You can do formatted or just normal, which will return you to the default. Font, pretty self-explanatory. You can change the font to any of the ones listed. Size, also pretty self-explanatory. You can make it as big or as small as you want. This will allow you to change the colors. And then we have maximize, which will just increase the window that you're working on to be full screen, and minimize. And the last button is show blocks. So this is not really going to be too useful unless you know the way the blocks work. And that's all the buttons in the CK editor. So once you get to learn those, everything in terms of adding content on the site will become much easier, as these buttons are standard across all our pieces of content. Thanks for watching and have a great day.